Good morning, my crafty cuties. How is everyone doing on this fine Friday before Christmas? I hope everyone is doing well today and you are all done with your shopping and already wherever it is that you're probably going for Christmas and that you had safe travels getting there. So I just wanted to pop on, do our weekly video. This will go live in a couple weeks, I think. So that's how far back this is. So today we are going to be starting the sewing part. Absolutely. We have a few things to get ready before we begin sewing, and whatever fabric that you have chosen for your star legs, I have chosen this fabric for my star legs. You will need to get 120 of them if you're doing the same size quilt that I'm doing. You'll need 120 of those set aside because we have to mark on those, and I'll show you how to do that in just a few minutes. So get those together, set them to the side. You'll need a pen or a marker, something to mark on fabric with, so that you don't mind marking on fabric with, okay? So I'll show you what I'm using. You'll need a ruler and then I have a little small cutting mat that I use when I'm doing stuff like this. So get your fabrics together and I will meet you back over where the sewing machine is in just a few minutes. And I wanted to take a moment to thank every one of you who have liked and subscribed to my channel. For all the comments that you've left me, y'all are so uplifting. You have just really spoke to my heart. You all seem so excited to do this quilt along with me. And we have a lot of beginner quilters with us. Welcome to the sewing room. Welcome to my sewing room. You see my little sign, I think, right up there, kind of, sort of, that my husband made for me. So welcome to my sewing room. Pull up a chair, grab your sewing machine, pull up a chair, get your cutting mat, and let's get to sewing. I'm excited to see what this quilt looks like as the finished product. And of course, I'm already designing our next sew along, so it'll be more spring related. Yep. I think we might do 12.5-inch blocks, but I really like making the big blocks, so we'll see. We'll see. I'm still in the design phase on it, so hopefully I get it all designed by the time we get this finished so we can start another one. We may have to take a little short break and do something else, and then we'll start another sew along. We'll see how all that works out. But for all of you who just subscribed to the channel, for all the comments, for all the likes, for all the camaraderie that we're experiencing, the fellowship, as we all gather together in my sewing room, we're all one quilty family. How about that? All right, let me get you set up over at my sewing machine, and we'll start marking some fabric, and I'll tell you what the next step is. Be right back. Okay, we're over at my sewing table, my sewing machine. My husband gave me an early Christmas present. I've been wanting one of these Sew Steady extension tables for my machine forever, and he got me one, and he said, here, this is an early Christmas present for you. I am loving it so far. He even got the one that has a little drawer in it. I'm so excited. Okay, so your fabric that you're going to be using for your star legs, and I'm using this fabric right here. You need to take, if you're doing my size quilt, 120 of these. I think I've said that like 50 times. You're probably tired of hearing it. And I am using a friction, turn it around, a friction fine liner erasable. This is an erasable pen with heat. So the minute you touch an iron to it, it disappears. So what you're going to do, let me make sure that y'all can see this really good, because let me see if I can zoom in. Yes, let me zoom in. Wow, that looks huge, don't it? You zoom in. Okay, I think that's good. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to draw a line that goes from corner to corner. Okay, so simply place your ruler on there. I got to get out from around my phone because that's what I use to record with. Place your ruler just like that. Draw a line just like that. You want your line to go from corner to corner, okay? If you have directional fabric, Hopefully you don't. Hopefully it's not gonna, you don't have any directional fabric, so it's not gonna make any difference. So I'm not exactly sure what to tell you to do if you have directional fabric. So because, yeah, these are forming our points on our star, okay? So there we go. Just lay your ruler up at your top corner and then down at your bottom right corner. Scoot that up just a little bit and draw your line corner to corner. All right, I have 2 stacked together. Let me move these over just a little bit. Let me stack this up right here again. Make sure you guys can see really well. Place your ruler corner to corner. And then draw a line from corner to corner, just like that, okay? You're gonna do that to all of your squares that you are going to need for your star legs, okay? All right, I am going to continue the process of drawing the lines. I think I hear Grayson. Let's see if he'll come put in an appearance. Hey, come on. I don't think he's going to. And hopefully my music ain't too loud. Oh, sorry guys. There we go. I realize y'all are really close to, it's YouTube and it's just music and I'm listening to it. So I'm gonna zoom you out just a little bit. There we go. Zoom you out just a little. All right. Whoops. And you can stack 2 together like this. Just make sure they stay lined up. And then get your ruler corner to corner. Whoops. Caught my finger in the little hole, you know, where you hang it. Whoop. And then draw your line corner to corner. Just like that, okay? All right, I'm gonna finish the rest of mine. I almost have them all done and I have them spread out in piles of 10, so I made sure that I had 120 and I had to go back and cut some more because I didn't have enough. When I get these marked, let me get my sewing machine set up and we're going to be ready to start stitching. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, we're back, my quilty friends, and we are ready to start our project. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take the blocks that we drew the line on, yes, which is right here. I'm making sure you guys can see. Actually, I'm gonna scoot up and around because I can do this from this side. Okay, so this is the fabric that we chose, that I chose to use as my star legs. Has my lines drawn on it, I'm good to go. Now I'm just going through and looking at the fabrics that I have chosen to use as the other part of my half square triangle. And it looks like, so what we're going to do is that you're going to take a star leg fabric. Whoops, and that one ain't cut all the way through, look at that. I'll cut that one open in a few minutes. This one is. You're gonna take 1 star leg fabric. You're going to pair it, make sure that you can see. You're going to pair that with another, well, you're going to pair these 2 together. Line them up just like that. And then we're going to sew directly. Can you see the line? Can you see the line? Hopefully you can see the line. You're going to sew directly on this line, okay? Don't sew off. Most patterns call for you to sew 1/4 of an inch on each side. We are not doing that. Sew directly on the line because we want a full 5-inch square when we get done. If you sew on either side of this line, you're not gonna get that. So we're sewing directly on the line. Pair a star leg fabric with one of your other 5-inch squares. And I always use, oh my goodness gracious, I always use starters. Oh, I gotta change my foot because I was doing something, I was mending something earlier and had changed my foot. So I gotta change my foot to 97D. Okay, if you're wondering, I am quilting on a Bernina B77 QE+. I'm using the 97D foot, which stands for dual feed. I love that foot. I have the other foot, and I gotta change my stitch. There we go. I have the other foot that has the thingamabob on it that keeps, you know, has a guide. There we go. Thingamabob. Look at my English. But I actually like this foot better. I just do. I like that foot better. Okay. And I started with my starter and then stitch directly on this line, and I'm going to shorten my stitch length to, I'm going to try about 2. And I cleaned, oiled, and changed my needle yesterday before I started. Looks good. I always check my stitches, always. Okay, cut that off. All right, and now we're just going to chain piece them together, making sure you can see. Yes, making sure you can see. Okay, and I'm just gonna grab another from my stack, a different color. Lay it down. And I could never tell if this batik had a front and a back. It's hard to tell. Okay. Just shimmy that fabric. That's all I'm doing is teasing and shimmying that fabric so it lines up. I don't want to line up. There we go. Whoops, and then I teased it just a wee bit too much. All right, just like that. All right, close enough. Okay, put it under your foot, presser foot. Sew directly on that line, just like that. And I may see about moving you around so you can get a little bit better view of this. And then I'm gonna pause the camera. I'm gonna chain stitch. This is called chain stitching when you just leave them all attached. I'm gonna chain stitch all of these together, and then I'm going to meet you back here. But first, let me change the camera so you get a little bit better angle so you can see just a little bit better. Okay, so I thought I would try this as a different angle so you guys can see. So I have my 2 fabrics together and my line, and we are going to sew right on that line, just like that. You could put a pin in this if you feel more comfortable. You can absolutely pin it. Take your time. We are not in a race right here, okay? We're not in any kind of hurry. We're not in any kind of race. What is it? The turtle, you know, the turtle wins the race. So that's what we're doing here. We're just taking our time, putting our fabric down, making sure, scooshing it, teasing it to get it where we want it to lie, just like that. So if you did want to pin, don't pin across your line if you want to pin, because you want to keep everything square. Pin here. And then I always like to place a little pin right there. And then pin up here. And pin right here. This will help hold your fabric nice and square. A lot of people want to pin down this line, and it's gonna, because we're sewing on the bias, it has more stretch to it. So always pin to the sides, just like this right here. That's how I like to do it. Not my way, again, is not the highway by any stretch of the imagination. And I got a little wobbly start there. You know what? It'd be all right. Just like that. That's how we do it. Hopefully that helped, especially since we do have some new beginner sewers in here. You get to see how I do it. Again, my way is not the highway. I'm not calling the quilt police. They ain't none of us calling the quilt police. You do whatever works best for you. Okay, so I'm going to stop the camera right here. I'm going to continue sewing my star legs together. I will meet you back here once they're done, and I'll show you the trimming process because we're going to have to cut them. Okay? See you back here in a few minutes. All right, I'm back. Okay, so we have all of our squares that are now sewn. Our 5-inch squares, we've sewn down the line that we've drawn. You sewn directly on that line. I don't know if you can see it better that way or not. We've sewn directly on the line. Now it's time to cut them apart. So what I'm doing, this is a Creative Grids ruler, and I don't know if you can see this or not, but this ruler has a 1/4 inch line. So I'm just lining that 1/4 inch line along my stitch line, just like that, and then cutting. I'm saving this part. I'm taking it to the sewing machine, and I'm sewing those. Those are too big to toss in the trash, and then I'm putting that over in my pile. And place your 1/4 inch line, or thereabouts, doesn't have to be. Oh, cut that off, putting it over here, putting that in my pile to be pressed. Line up your 1/4 inch, cut. Sorry, y'all are probably yelling at me, close your cutter, close your cutter. Dangerous. So again, line up that 1/4 inch line on your stitch line. Really hope that you guys can see this. Cut. And move right along. I may try a different angle on the camera. And what I'm looking at, because this is batik, I'm just kind of looking at it and thinking, what side do I want showing, you know? What side do I want to use? That's why you see me flipping it around. Okay. That. I'm really glad I changed the blade. I'm not having to bear down. I made my hand sore. I did. I made my hand sore. So, I don't know why. I'm sure I'm not the only one that does it, that we procrastinate about changing our blades. I mean, they're expensive, so I guess I do know why we do it, because they're so stinking expensive. These aren't bad, these that I got on Amazon, and you cannot stack these and whack them. I wouldn't suggest stack and whack. You're gonna have to do them individually. So, but yeah, I'm kind of impressed about these I got on Amazon. I think they were like $10 for a pack of 10, so it's $1 a blade, which really isn't bad. When I seen a 10-pack at Hobby Lobby yesterday was $30. So, okay. Like I said, save those. I did close the blade that time. All right, let me move you to the sewing machine, and I'll show you how I'm stitching these together. Okay, so, all right, so now we're ready to cut some more of these and add to our ever-growing stack. Make sure I have you in frame. You can really see the stitching now on this angle. So we're gonna line up our ruler on that stitch line, 1/4 inch away. That's what this line right here is. This is my 1/4 inch line. And then just gonna cut this off, that to the side, put that on our pile, okay? Make sure and stay in frame. I'm gonna zoom you out just a little bit. I'm gonna zoom you out. Let's see here. There we go. Because you got several close-ups on and I really tried to explain what I'm doing. If you're new to quilting and you've never ever made a half square triangle before, how are you gonna know if somebody doesn't tell you, you know? So I'm really trying to take my time and explain what I'm doing in case you're a new quilter, because I want you to be as excited as I am
about quilting. I do. I want you to be, whoop, put that in the wrong pile. That one goes in that pile. I want you to become excited. So what I said earlier, I would not stack these together and then whack them. I wouldn't do a stack and a whack. Even though the stitch lines will probably line up, I just would not feel comfortable with doing stack and whack for myself. Oh, there is a shadow on this, isn't there? But it does help for you to see the stitch line even with the shadow. Okay, so sorry about that. There is a shadow. Personally, I would not do stack and whack. If you feel that that's what you want to do, by all means, go for it, brother and sister. Go for it. Okay, I'm just going to finish cutting these. I think I want that one.
Yeah, go.
She's old, babe. Bless her heart.
Are you recording?
Mm-hmm. I can stop it in a minute. What you need?
Well, you can come outside now, please.
That is code for it's going to cost me money. That's what that's code for. Just so y'all know that. Oh. Now my house it's usually busy around here. It is usually not busy per se. It's just busy with family. You know, my mom, like I said, mom and daddy live right across the street. So they're popping in and out a few times a day. And then my husband, you know, today is Saturday, so of course he's off today. And all right. Okay, so I am going to pause the camera. I'm going to finish cutting. Going to finish cutting the remainder of these that we have to cut, and sewing the offcuts. I'm going to sew those, and I will meet you back at I'll meet you at the ironing board as soon as I get all of these cut. Okay, now I'm taking these that we cut off, our cutoffs, and I'm placing them just under the presser foot, edge of my foot. I'm gonna scoop there we go. Make sure all your fabrics are lined up, just like that. Tapping my screen, trying to decide which is the best. And just sew down the side. So I'm going to be trimming these up later, so I'm really not fussed that they're not spot on perfect. I did add my Seam Easy sewing guide to my table. I used some washi tape just to stick it down. I like washi tape because washi tape isn't going to leave a residue on my machine bed or on my new Sew Steady extension table. Oh my gosh, I love this table. Best Christmas present I've ever got. So I'm not really using the line on here. I mean, you can just place it up under there, line it up with the 1/4 inch sew line, stitch right down through there. I just use my presser foot as a line, and these are the offcuts of our block. Just showing you what I'm doing with these. These are too big to throw away. We're gonna save them for some future project someday. All right, and that's what I'm gonna do to all of my offcuts. Just like that. So I didn't want you throwing them away. And you could throw them over in a bin and absolutely not stitch them together, but I'm gonna take the time to go ahead and stitch them together, just like that. So that way, when I get ready to use them, I have half square triangles that are already stitched and ready to go. Would y'all like to see more sewing? Would y'all like to watch me sew? I mean, I like to watch people sew. Just saying, I do. I enjoy, I follow The Last Homely House. It is channel about, she does quilting, she does gardening, just her ordinary everyday life, you know? And I find it fascinating. She's located in Northumberland, UK, which is in the most northern part of England. And I just, you know, it's not that she lives this extraordinary life, you know, it's just her life and what she does. And she's the one who actually inspired me just to sit down, turn on the camera, and to record my sewing. You know, it's not that I'm doing extraordinary things, it's sharing the love of what we do. And I just found her inspiring, you know. I'm already sewing, so why not turn on the camera and share my love and what I've learned, you know. So anyway, I will try to link her below. I'm not sure that I have enough followers yet to do that. I hope I do, because I want to share these people that inspire me. I follow a few different channels and they inspire me. So we all draw inspiration from each other. Every one of us. Every single one of us. We inspire each other. And we're the magic keepers. That was a truly inspiring video too that I stumbled upon as to why we should record and share our hobbies. It was absolutely made me cry. She made me cry. Okay. As you can tell, I'm not being fiddly with it at all. I'm just sticking it up under there and sewing that puppy down. And Grayson, he is outside with his daddy. They have been cleaning up the patio, blowing all the leaves off. We have these 2 huge oak trees in our front yard. They're just absolutely enormous. And they've been here for a long, long time. And the leaves, you know, it's that time of year. The leaves are falling. It's still got a lot. I just peeked out. It's still got a lot of leaves that's got to come down. Anyway, he's been outside with his daddy cleaning up the patio, and he found a lizard. That poor pitiful lizard. Jimmy tried to take it away from him, and there was no taking it away from him. He was having too much fun playing with the lizard. So y'all let me know. Would you like me to remove all the sound, or do you like the what's it called? AMSR? It's not quite around here because I have a dog, I have the cat, I have a husband, I have a mom and dad who live right across the street. So there's people, you know, coming in and out. So y'all let me know. Would you like to watch me sewing more like this, up close and kind of personal? Y'all let me know. Let me know what you think. Curious to hear your thoughts. Hello again, my crafty cuties. So I'm back. Sorry, I was eating a piece of chocolate. I love chocolate. Actually, I love cookies, if you really want to know the truth. I am a cookie monster. Love cookies. Okay, so we have all of our half square triangles made. So now we need to put them together into pairs for our star. So what you need to do is take 2 of your half square triangles, place them together with your colors touching and your star leg on the outside, just like this. Here, I have a whole bunch. I almost forgot to record this. I did. I almost forgot. So this is what you're looking for. Just like that. You want your colors to touch, just like this, because our star leg is gonna go actually this way, okay? Colors touching in the middle. And just place them right sides together. And I like to pop a pin or two in here. I'm gonna line it up. I'm gonna pop a pin in here like this. And then I'm going to line that up right there. Whoops, I let it slide. Line that up just like that. Pop a pin in it. Then I'm gonna sew 1/4 inch down this edge. Just like that. And I have a whole stack of these right here, and then a whole bunch that I've sewed off right here. I was just in the rhythm. I was just sewing. I keep thinking it's gonna snow. It's so cold here. It's windy and it's cold. So the only thing is because I run so short, myself short in my cutting, and I think that I explained that. I don't know if it's gonna be in the next segment. I can't remember. I can't remember. I'm confusing myself. So I have a whole bunch of these that are the same color. I'm really hoping that I don't need these. I'm gonna place these over to the side, but I'm betting I'm going to have to need them because we should have, we did 120 of these. So I bet I'm gonna have to have them, and I really don't want some of the same color. So I may have to do some ripping and tearing. We'll see. We'll see what we can get, how I can work those into this menagerie that I have going on. Okay, so the next step is after you get all of these put together in twos, then we need to add our squares on each side. So stack of 5-inch squares. You should have some of those because those need to be, I got my iPad on charge over here. Sorry guys, let me see if I can get this stupid thing to work. I think I really need a new iPad. This one is crazy. As my little granddaughter would say, it's crazy, Daddy, crazy. So, whoops, let me open up the photo that I have right here. Okay, so we just put together this right here. So we need to put a 5-inch square on each side of 2 times 15, 30 of those, because we got this one here and this one here, okay? So you need to do 30 that have a 5 patch on each side. Hopefully I'm not confusing you guys. I hope I'm not confusing anybody. So count out 30. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, I don't want them all the same. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. Say that's our 30 right there. It's gonna push this pile right there, and you can press these if you want to. Go ahead and take them to the ironing board and press these if you want to, or we can press them all at the same time. It doesn't matter. I may take these. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this. And this, I've given up trying to keep my star looking exactly like this, because I should have cut my 5-inch squares first. But I cut my 9-inch squares, 9.5-inch squares first. So don't do that. And I think I made a video on that. So, yeah, don't do that. So I've given up because while I did have enough yardage, I didn't have enough of the colors that I wanted to use in those specific places. Does that make sense? So this is going to be scrappy, and yeah, that's how this is going to be. I've given up with keeping all of my colors straight. Oh my gosh. But I think it's going to be beautiful no matter what. And I'm going to put this one, because I did not count that. I'm going to put that over there in that stack. And then this is the stack that I'm working on. I'm going to move these over here out of the way. Just like that. Okay. So I'm just going to continue adding some 5-inch to one side. And when I get all of one side done, I'm going to come back and I'm going to add it to the other side. So just line it up, put it under the presser foot, and stitch it down. Just like that. And if some of you guys are working ahead, by all means, go ahead. It's not going to hurt my feelings. So, all right, guys, I will meet you back here. I think I am going to go press these and stitch on my one side. I will be back when I'm ready to turn it around and stitch my squares on the second side. Be back in a few minutes. So, now I have this, and I need to put another 5-inch square on this side. And let's see here, I'm just gonna pick something at random. So we have purple, we have the blue in there, which, you know, the whole quilt's purples and blues. So let's see here. How about we go with this one? So I'm gonna put this one on this side. Just line it up. Stitch her down. There we go. Just like that. And I was going to, do I have one right here where I can show you like really fast? Probably not. I'm not going to be able to find one for nothing. I don't want you to worry about your points. And when we're talking about points, like this part of your star, where your star leg is right here, that you may lose this point in this project. Don't worry about that. And then when these points right down here where these two come together, we may lose those too. And when I designed this project, I wasn't really worried about the points. I was worried about simplicity. I was trying to keep it as simple as possible with the half square triangles. And I said, I know we have some new quilters and I don't want you to be intimidated by half square triangles. They're relatively easy. And I also want to show you something else. And you may not can really see it. Do you see where these two don't line up exactly? Don't worry about it, okay? Don't worry about that, because if we lose this tip right here, you're never gonna see it. But it looks like I have 1/4 of an inch there. It's gonna be close, we'll see. Some of them I may keep the points on, some of them may not. I'm not all that mussed about it, okay? I'm not, so there we go. That's how I feel about it. Oh gosh. So I'll sew a couple more of these and then I'll stop the camera and sew the rest of them together. Take them to the ironing board and press them. And I will meet you back here so we can start assembling our star. And I'm gonna have to give that one a little pull to get it in. There we go. Again, we're like this. We have one square on. I need to put another square on, and let's find a different color. Let's see here. What have I got? I have that blue in that. Let's go with this. Let's go with one of these. Let's put this in there. So just like this. And let's see here. I want to do it purple. Well, I already had that color purple in there. Let's do this one. And sometimes if I think that I'm gonna have trouble lining it up, if you have a smidge more, you can place the side that you need to pull in on the bottom, and those feed dogs will pull that little bit of extra in. I mean, I have just a smidge right here that needs to be pulled in. The Bernina is not so great at that because of its feed system. But if you'll hold your fabric up at an angle and let it go up under the presser foot, it will pull that fabric in. If it's just a little bitty bit that you can't, because you don't want to stretch too hard, because you don't want to pop your stitches. And let me see here what we got going on here. Let me pick one. Let's do this. Oh, not the really dark purple. Let's see here. Let's do maybe this one. Is that going to be too, that's too many blues. That's too many. I'm giving this way too much thought. Way too much thought. So let me see if I can. This one actually lines up perfectly. So say that you have one. Say that you have one, but this is just a smidge longer. Not that much. Just a smidge. Maybe like that. You could turn it, put this piece on the bottom on your feed dog, and hold it up at an angle and run it in, and it will pull that little bitty bit in, okay? But it's not gonna pull in a whole lot, but it will help feed that in. So, but this one looks to be fine. So there we go. There we go. And it's my cutting and my pressing, you know, and all of that. I never claimed to be the world's most fantastic quilter. And I just love quilting. Just love it. Just absolutely love it. It's my happy place. It's what I love doing, and just love it. And I want to share my love and my passion with you. Yep. All right. So I am going to continue doing this. Like this one is a smidge too big. I mean, just a little bitty bit. I'm going to put that on the bottom. And putting our stars together is probably going to be a two-part series because there's just so many steps into putting the stars together. So I may stop. We'll see how long this video is going to be. I try not to go over an hour. I really don't. So I may stop the video at this point, and then we'll resume next week with actually assembling the star. How does that sound, guys? I don't know. We'll see. I may have to split it before then. We'll see. All right. See you later.